Hello there everyone, and welcome once again to the continuing reflections on the priestly blessing or the Aaronic blessing in the book of Numbers. Yesterday we looked at the middle verse of the triad of verses that make up the blessing. Let me read that verse again. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. We looked at the first half of that verse yesterday, and now I want to look at the word gracious. And the Lord be gracious to you. The Hebrew word used here is chanan, and it's one of the many grace words. There are several grace words in the Old Testament that are sometimes translated by using the English word grace, but can be translated by a variety of other words as well, because language works that way. So the definition here for chanan is the main idea behind the word is, if you can imagine someone who has something to give, having a heartfelt response to someone in need. Someone who's got something to give, having a heartfelt response to someone in need. That gets to the heart of this word, chanan. Now, to understand it a wee bit better, I need to contrast it with another word, another grace word, another Hebrew word that's used quite often in the Hebrew Bible, and that's chesed. You can understand it's quite good if you're a Scots person learning Hebrew, because they've got lots of chs, and we're good at making that sound. So chesed is a very special word. It's usually used in connection with the covenant. And if we think of the covenant like, say, the marriage between a man and a woman, both take vows and there's a commitment, there's a covenant established between them. So too for God and the people of Israel. The covenant was established, the 10 Commandments, the law was given to the people of Israel, and then they were to live into that and become God's people. And that meant a covenant commitment. Chesed is about God's commitment to the people. But chesed can also be used from the human point of view, of the human commitment back to God. It's a two-way word. When we think of the word here in this Aaronic or priestly blessing that we're looking at, chanan is a one-way word, not a two-way word. It's only used of God to us, not of us to God. So this is giving the sense that what it involves is all the things God can do for us and is doing and will do for us are not reciprocal. We can't give these things back to God. And they truly are, from that point of view, pure grace. Grace, the grace of God towards us. Now, needs, heartfelt needs. What are our needs? Well, my goodness, they're many, aren't they? Our need for understanding and wisdom, our need for patience and kindness and goodness, love, our need for loyalty, our need for salvation ultimately, our need for purpose and meaning. And all of that is wrapped up in the package, to use that word, of what God gives us. And in our relationship with Him, we learn more and more about who we are and why we're here and where we're going. And we get resources for the journey, for the pilgrimage. And we get the resources that only God can give to us. We can't obtain them any other way. So in this blessing, when it says about God being gracious to us, my goodness, that's packed with power and vitality and goodness. And we need to grasp that. And what is there in embryo form between God and the people of Israel is developed in an amazing way in and through the gift of Jesus Christ. That amazing verse in Romans 8:32, where Paul says this: He who did not spare even his own son, but who gave him up for us all, will he not also give us all things? That's the pure grace of God, the self-emptying, the self-giving of God in the relationship. And it begins with God and his relationship with the people of Israel and this blessing. So the scriptures are there to be unpacked. And that's what we've been trying to do with this priestly blessing. We unpack it as we go along and realizing there's so many tangential points between the blessing and parts of scripture. So it's an amazing and exciting journey. It has been said that the Bible could be summed up, if you wanted a title for it, God in Search of Humanity. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Because we often think of those who study religion as religion's quest for the divine. But it's the other way around. The first question addressed to Adam in the garden was, "Where are you? Adam, where are you?" We live in a broken world. Humanity seems to have lost its way. But God comes to seek and to save the lost. And his Hanan, his graciousness, is part of that. We can't respond to God in like, because he is God. So he gives us these things, these wonderful gifts for our journey, to equip us to serve him and also to grow and develop as human beings. But we can only receive them if we're tuned in and plugged in. Now, the very fact you're watching me just now means you're online. If you weren't, you'd be looking at a blank, an empty screen. So too, we need to be plugged in. It's our tuning in to what God is doing, and that's where the family of faith comes into it. To be part of the Christian family and to be able to journey together, to learn together, to worship together, to serve together. And in the midst of all that, God is at work to bless us. And part of the blessing is his grace, his graciousness, his Hanan towards you and me. What a God and what a blessing this is. Once again, thank you for watching, and may God extend his graciousness to you this day and all the days of this week. See you tomorrow.